The Detroit Tigers started this year's World Series as favorites. They're not the favorites anymore. Welcome into the Sporting News studios as we look ahead to Games 3 and 4 of this year's series, with San Francisco holding a 2-0 lead as we head to Detroit. And joining me now on the phone, our baseball writer, Stan McNeil. And Stan, very simple question. What happened to the Tigers out in San Francisco?
Mainly, they just ran into very good pitching. I think everybody is fairly surprised to see Barry Zito have a second game like he had last week. I think some people were surprised to see Madison Bumgarner have such a good game the way he had struggled lately. But clearly, we were just wrong to think that.
Now, one way for Detroit to look at it, of course, is that they still haven't lost a game at home. But then again, they haven't even faced the Giants' ace, Matt Cain, and their bats aren't exactly red hot.
To me, this is kind of just an extension of how everything is falling in the Giants' favor. They're extended to 7 games in the NLCS, which means they can't start their 2 best starters until Games 3 and 4 of the World Series. And now you look at it, and they have Ryan Vogelsong and Matt Cain lined up to pitch in Detroit, not to get the Giants in the series, but to put the series away.
So given what we've seen so far, how important does an early run or two for Detroit become on Saturday?
Absolutely crucial, which is why the Prince Fielder play in Game 2 was so big. I think that just kind of, if the Tigers can get that early lead, then maybe some breaks will start falling in their direction, or at least their confidence will start falling in their direction. I mean, the Giants have not trailed now for 5 straight games. They've put together a 5-game winning streak in the postseason, and they have not trailed in any of those games. So clearly, momentum, everyone will say momentum is as good as the next day's pitcher, but in the Giants' case, it's more than that. I mean, they feel very good about themselves, and so it's imperative for the Tigers to get an early lead, which, if nothing else, will mean that they have to hit a little bit. We can talk about the decisions in Game 2 to not bring the infield in or to send Prince Fielder when on that one play. That might have been a mistake, but yet you look at the box score, the Tigers had 2 base hits in that game. That is why they lost that game last night.
But having said all that, Stan, if Detroit does figure out the way to win Game 3, how does that change the series in your mind?
Certainly, if the Tigers can win Game 3, that'll set them up. They'll have 2 more games, 2 games still at home with Verlander coming back in Game 5, and you have to think that he's going to be better in Game 5 than he was in Game 1. So, they absolutely have to win Game 3, but I do think if they can get home and get their bats going, that the series can kind of turn around, and not that the Giants are going to go away, but the Tigers can at least, send it back to San Francisco.
Okay, Stan, we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks to all of you for your time, too. From the Sporting News studios, I'm Tom Vanderfort.